It was a fishing trip by 5 boys and it nearly ended with tragedy, my death. I then realized that my father had been right all the while about there being dangers at this particular canal. The canal is near my home and is tidal. When the tide is high, the water rises and is clean enough to swim in, if you happen to be a group of kampong boys like we were. So one day at high tide we proceeded to our usual spot. The water was cool and refreshing and we enjoyed ourselves. Then it started to drizzle. We looked at the distance and saw that it was raining further inland. It did not bother us very much and we carried on enjoying ourselves. I was on the far bank and the rest of my gang were nearer to the road. Then all of a sudden, the water in the canal began to flow. It got faster and faster until we realized that very soon it would sweep us away. Rainwater from further inland was flowing out. My friends who were on the near bank scrambled. Seeing that I was alone on the other bank, I decided that I should join them and waded into the canal. That was my big mistake. When I was midstream, I really had to struggle. I realized that the water was pushing me like I had never been pushed before. I panicked and yelled out to my friends. There was nothing that they could do but yell back. I was not a good swimmer and even if I was sure it would not help in such a swift-flowing stream. I turned to the bank I had come from thinking that perhaps it was safer. Then I realized that I was nearer my friends. I took a step. The moment I took one step I felt the water lifting me up. Suddenly I found myself being carried forward. I screamed and saw my friends running along the bank. It looked as if I was doomed. Luckily for me the canal came to a bend and by some phenomena, perhaps by divine intervention, I was thrown against a dead tree trunk which was stuck to the bank. I grabbed hold of it and hugged it to myself and hung on. Soon Philip reached where I was. He had presence of mind and threw me a rope. I held tight to it and the guys hauled me out of the water. I sat on the bank and realized that this had been a real encounter with danger.